Now, if you're hoping that this is a video where I say you need this shape and this size of softbox for your first softbox, now I've got some real world advice. So 5 tips for your first softbox. What mount does it have? Does it have an inner diffuser? Does it have a grid? That's really important to me. What's the bag like? Because it'll live in its bag longer than it'll be on the light if you have a mobile or temporary studio like I do. And then the most important question, the one you should absolutely ask, how quick can I put the softbox together? Because if it takes me longer than that to put it together, I'm not interested. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And in this video, I'm going to give you some real advice on how softboxes work, what all of these parts do, how they affect the light output, and some ideas on how to use it. Now, I've got a few things to set up. Whilst I'm doing that, you should click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a video right here. If you're interested in the gear I'm using, you'll find that down in the video description below. Okay, let's get a light set, let's get a model in, let's get shooting. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Chloe! Chloe's going to be the model for this photo session, and I've got a softbox to work with as well. This is a 60 by 90 centimeter, a 2 foot by 3 foot softbox, the perfect size for your first softbox. Now, there's an advantage to having a rectangular softbox because you can have it in this way, or it'll rotate around and you can have it like that. You get 2 softboxes for the price of 1, and yes, it does affect the light output. Speaking of which, you might notice there's nothing inside here at the moment, and that's because I'm going to have a look at how this will vary according to what you use, because softboxes come in various parts. So let's have a look at what it looks like with nothing inside, just the bare softbox. Spoiler alert, it's not often I will ever do this, but we'll have a little look. Okay, Chloe, here we go. Quick little test photo. And what I get is very harsh, very directional lighting, but you can see that all of the light is being thrown forward with just a small amount of spill out the back. This is an inner baffle or an inner diffuser. It's a small piece of translucent fabric that attaches, in this case by Velcro, to the inside of the softbox and allows the light to soften up slightly. And it does that by bouncing light back inside of the softbox and around off the edges and creates a much softer look. It will affect the exposure slightly by around about half a stop, 2/3 of a stop, but this is what it looks like with that in place. Okay, Chloe, here we go. And this time you can see much softer lighting. It spreads out really wide, and although it's not completely soft and gentle, it's much improved over the bare flash on its own. This is the outer diffuser. It's a larger piece of translucent fabric. It fits to the outside of the softbox with Velcro. And you want to get a nice neat fit, but don't put it right to the edge. Leave a little bit of a gap. In other words, the outer diffuser goes to the inner edge of the Velcro. And once again, this will take away a little bit of the light. If you have a flash meter, you can take a flash meter reading, here we go, and adjust the power accordingly. If you don't have a flash meter, you can just do trial and error and see what results you get. It's usually about half a stop to 2/3 of a stop difference in power. Okay, Chloe, here we go, test photo. And now we have really soft light. The spread of this is quite remarkable. You might think that a softbox just pushes light forward, but like any light surface, it'll go from all angles when it leaves the light source. So that is where this comes in. This is an egg crate grid, or just a grid, and it attaches to the Velcro around the edge, which is why you wanted to put that outer diffuser inset a little bit so you had room to attach it. Its job is to push light in a more directional manner rather than spreading out so wide. Different grids will give you different results, so it's well worth taking a test photo. Once again, this will take away some light, usually about a stop. Okay, Chloe, here we go, quick test photo. And as you can see, you get far more direction to the light. It still has a softness to the shadows, but it doesn't spread up and down anywhere near as much as it did before. So it breaks down like this. The empty softbox gives plenty of direction, but really hard shadows. The inner diffuser will give a wider beam of light with softer shadows. The outer diffuser as well will give the widest beam of light and the softest shadows. The grid will maintain that tighter beam of light that we started with the softer shadows that we ended with. And if I turn the softbox on its side, the effect is exactly the same, except now we have less height to the effect, but an increase, although we can't see it, in the width of the effect. The height at which you place your softbox is important, and you might think for a 3/4 length portrait like this is the ideal position. So I've got the top around about the same height as Chloe's head, and I've got the lower half around about her knees, exactly the area I'm going to photograph. However, it's not necessarily that easy. Let me show you why. Okay, Chloe, quick little test photo. Here we go. And although that looks okay, have a closer look at Chloe's face. Have a look at the direction of the shadow. Most of the softbox is below Chloe's head, which means the light that's lighting her face is mostly coming up from underneath. This is not a good lighting position. In fact, what I want to do is elevate the softbox up so Chloe's head is almost in the center, or at least the softbox is higher than her head. That might sound like the wrong thing to do, but it's going to give the nicest lighting on Chloe's face. Let's have a little look at this. Here we go. And that looks so much more natural, so much more realistic, and is a much better place to put your softbox. And of course you can get the softbox and put it way above your model. So right up in the air like that is going to give us very dramatic lighting. Have a look at this. Okay, Chloe, here we go. This actually works quite well. The vertical light gives shadows that go straight down, and that is something that can happen with natural daylight. Reviewing the vertical position of the softbox, it's perhaps no surprise that I'll almost never put my softbox low like this. In fact, it's almost always in the center or slightly elevated like this. However, if I put the softbox up high and ask Chloe to look at the softbox, I suddenly get light in her eyes, and that makes the overhead position really exciting for occasional use. In fact, I like this so much, I think we should take a few photos like this. Chloe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. In post-processing using Photoshop or Lightroom, I gave a slight blue tone to the images simply by taking the white balance and moving it a little bit towards the blue end. There are so many ways you can use a softbox to get great photos, and this is just a tip of the iceberg, but we can use the knowledge we've got here to take some interesting photographs. I've changed Chloe out of the jacket and into a very cheap piece of tubular, stretchy fabric, which she's going to put all the way up, and, well, hopefully we'll create some interesting patterns with the light. So, let's take a few photos like this. Chloe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see what happens. Here we go. I'm definitely going to use the grid in this photo session, and what I did was to fit the grid and ask Chloe to go as close to the wall as she could. Then I got the softbox and put that as close to Chloe as I could without it actually being in the frame of my picture. That meant that the light wouldn't spread very far because of the grid, and because of the distance, it fell off very quickly, so both the foreground and the background are as dark as I could possibly get them. One thing you'll find with softboxes is whichever one you start off with, you'll very quickly realize you need bigger ones, smaller ones, rounder ones, squarer ones, thinner ones. Everything is out there and everything has a purpose, but it all comes down to experience. Experiment with a single softbox and build from there. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or you've got any questions, leave us a comment down below. Click on the bell icon and you'll never miss a video right here on Adorama TV, and there it is. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.